Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast. This podcast is run by two ladies who play games, shout profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome back to an extra lovely episode of the Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Jen.
I'm Emily. I love that slowly every week my discretion turns into discretion and discretion and...
Discretion.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But yes, we've made it. It is Valentine's Day, my dudes.
Wow. Aw.
We love love.
Love is love is love.
The love is loving. The love is loving so hard right now. Oh,
the love is loving.
Feeling spontaneous. First of all, I guess I should say, I will have some background noise in today's show. That will be my love topic. We'll get to there. Tell me about something from this last, I was going to say lifetime. No, that's too big. Tell me something about this last week that you love.
Aw, I love talking to you.
I love that too. Love a good yap.
Yes, we are the queen of yap. I'm decreeing it as of right now.
I do declare. That's a good one. I was going to say, because it's relevant to my noise disclaimer, I love my new kitty that I am sharing a room with right now. She's in quarantine because my other cats will beat her up. They will do it.
Aww.
But
sad.
She's very cute.
I love that for her. I think that she's a former street cat, so she's gonna live the high life.
She is. The background here is she's only like 9 to 12 months, I guess, but we've been feeding her for the last few months because we feed the outdoor cats over the wintertime. And yeah, she'd just been showing up, and then suddenly one day she started playing with my toes through the window, and I went, wow, she's pretty darn cute. And then immediately the next day, there was a coyote sitting on our front lawn exactly where she was hanging out. And I went, uh-oh, that's a problem. So I put a trap out, and I caught her, and I brought her into my house. And now she lives here.
Aww. See, that's true love if I ever did hear it.
Love and panic, because there was a lot happening all at once. But she's very cute. She looks identical to one of my other cats, but is missing the last half of her tail. And she's just full of beans.
Aww.
So
full of beans.
Full of beans.
She also has like a little white patch on her stomach, right?
Yeah, she's more tuxedo-ish than my other one. My other black cat has a bikini, so she's got a white patch on her stomach, versus this one, which has a white patch on her neck. So that's kind of fun.
That is fun. I love that for you. A nice little adventure.
A journey. I take those.
Yes.
I do take them.
You do.
All right. Well, I know that today's episode is going to be a little bit different.
It is.
I like how Jen's just like, yes, it's a mystery. We are doing a listeners episode today because this is for the holidays, since we love listener stories, and that's fun. Which does also mean, though, we do not do our wheel of questions, because I think that gives away too much detail when we're telling your guys' stories, unless Jen has prepared one.
No, I was just gonna say, and Emily and I. Well, I mean, I've skimmed them to make sure that they're, like, real stories and, like, not insane. But I haven't, like, read them, and Emily hasn't seen them at all. So she's going in completely blind.
I totally am.
And I'm going in, like, half blind.
My one eye's closed. I don't know what that makes me.
Yeah.
No, that's
got an eye
fun.
patch on.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about it, too. And if we did do Valentine's Day questions, I feel like we've done this show for enough years now. We've probably covered most of the holiday-specific questions, I feel.
I feel like we have.
Yeah. The only one I could think of is, like, I don't know.
She can't even think of it.
I can't even think of it. I was going to be like, would you rather be Cupid? Or Cupid? I don't know. Or a cherub. Would you rather be Cupid or a cherub?
Probably Cupid, because he seems a little mischievous, and I like that.
Me too. I don't want to be a cherub because yuck, babies, and also they never have clothes on. And I don't live that life.
I don't either. It's not for me.
Okay, well, that could be our question. And yeah, I guess with that, should we just get right into our listener story here?
Yeah, take it away, Em. You start us off with, I think, a good one, hopefully.
We think hopefully, that's true. Since we are festive today, I did bring some wine because
Ooh.
I'm not quite as savvy around the liquor as I have been once upon a time because I'm a social drinker mostly. Mm-hmm. But I've been trying to polish off this wine for like a month.
Well, pour it up, girl.
Into my mouth because I don't have a glass.
We're classy over here on the Wheel of Crime podcast.
When you pour it into your mouth and your mouth has oxygen in it, I like to think you're like aerating the wine at the same time. It's very classy. Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah, it's a new method.
Mm-hmm. We're all about the point of invention here.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Hello, wheelies and crimies. Hey, what's up?
The OGs know.
Do you remember back when we were first, I think it was like our first year of doing the show, and we were being like, which group are you in? Are you a wheelie or a crimey? And you're like, I want to be a wheelie. And I'm like, but you do more crime. And you're like, no, that's not how it works.
Yes.
I'll never forget. But anyways, thank you for the throwback. That's fun. I've got a weird one for you all today. This is going to sound absolutely insane, and I know it does even to me, but I'm going to tell it anyways because whatever. Hell yeah, brother. This is the kind of shit that keeps me up at night sometimes, and I've literally had nightmares that were way less vivid than this experience. Jesus Christ. So here we go. I'm 38 and I've been listening to you guys forever, so maybe somebody will relate. I don't know. A few years ago, I was sick as hell with the flu. Like, I had a fever so bad I could barely keep my eyes open, and I fell asleep on the couch with a blanket that smelled like the dog. That's rough. That is so rough. When you're feeling so shitty, and that you're like, never mind, I just live in shit now. Shitty blanket. Shitty
My
life.
blanket smells like Frito toes.
Not the Frito blanket. See, I have cats. That's a non-issue in my life. That's the throwback I didn't ask for. Anyways, so past the Frito blanket, and I swear to God, I woke up somewhere that was not my living room, not even my house, not even this plane. Like, it was different, completely different, and the air was, I don't even know how to describe it. It felt thick and electric and kind of warm and smelled like metal and flowers at the same time. Ooh, that's neat. Because we always tell people we'll meet you in the astral plane, but I don't even think you're there. But also, sidebar, I want a perfume that smells like that, metal and flowers.
Yeah, that sounds kind of cool and like
Doesn't
sexy.
Like a sexy literally robot. What I was thinking. Anyway, like a sexy robot. Oh, the smut's creeping in. Anyways, which makes zero sense, but I swear I could smell it. Like, my nose was picking up something that it shouldn't have been able to pick up, and I could see these lights everywhere. Not lights, but bulbs, like glowing needles stretched across this endless space. And there was no floor, no ceiling, just me, kind of floating there, with this insane sense of calm, but also like my body was buzzing. Like, my blood was on fire, but not painful. And there were
That sounds like a fever dream if I've ever heard one.
Doesn't it? And the fact that, I'm not sure our person's pronouns here, but the reading into it, it's, to me right now, especially because it's a very vivid dream, giving almost like UFO experience, because that is crazy. Mm-hmm. And there were other beings, I guess, I don't know what to call them, kind of like shapes that shifted, some of them humanoid, some of them like glowing ribbons or smoke, and they were communicating without words, just like feelings, ideas, memories, all at once. I could feel their attention. Not invasive, but like they were aware of me in this very sharp way. Like they knew I was dreaming, but also that I wasn't, which was so confusing. And then I realized I could move through these threads of light, and every time I touched one, it shifted reality around me in a way that felt like a map or a memory or a possibility. And I was having so much fun, I didn't even want to wake up. Like, I was actually laughing out loud, just floating through this fucking insane cosmic playground. Oh my god. And then...
Were you on acid, girl?
Whatever medication this was for the flu, hook me up.
Yeah, I want that.
I'm ready to go. And then my cat jumped on my chest, and I woke up, and my entire body was soaked in sweat, and my heart was pounding so fast, I felt like it might explode. And I couldn't stop thinking about that place for days, weeks, months even. Like, it was real, and maybe it still is. And sometimes late at night, I try to go back there by meditating or, like, closing my eyes in a hot shower. And every time I get close, I swear I can feel the threads brushing past me just out of reach. It's the weirdest, most unsettling and beautiful thing I've ever experienced. And yeah, it might sound like a fever dream or drugs, but I didn't take any drugs. Oh, well, there's our answer. I wasn't hallucinating in the traditional sense. I just floated into the astral plane or whatever the fuck it was, and it was probably the most alive I've ever felt in my entire life.
Ooh, do you think it was the astral plane, Emma?
I kind of do. So the weird thing about the astral plane is it's meant to be different for each person, and there's also supposedly like levels of it. I'm not too sure some of the specifics surrounding it, but to me, it's definitely giving big astral plane energy. In the beginning, it kind of felt a little bit like extraterrestrial energy, but as soon as you start going into conversations about like light and like emotive things, like feelings and kind of how they're interacting with a person, that's definitely more like astral plane type stuff.
This person literally can meet us in the astral plane. Did you ever think about that?
I know. I just need to figure out how to get there. I don't know. Watch. If Jen and I were to ever practice at this to try to get to the astral plane, it wouldn't be me. It'd be Jen who goes there, and she'd be like, I don't want to have anything to do with this.
I can't get back. That would be my worry, is that I couldn't get back.
Well, that's a real issue. That's why they say you're not supposed to without practicing it, because they say that's how people end up possessed, because your spirit leaves your body, and your body's a shell, right? And then something else can come into your body if they realize that you're not in it.
Spooky.
Very spooky. But no, there was something specific about what our listener said that reminded me of something else. Yeah, and the fact that you like it has to do with like meditating and like trying to get back to that mental space is definitely big astral plane energy.
That's cool. I don't think I've ever, I mean, I haven't met this person, but known anyone who's gone to the astral plane personally.
Well, that's like this is not that similar, but is like astral plane similar. Have you ever seen videos about Mall World?
No.
So it's a part of a bigger thing that has to do with like experimental psychic abilities on children. That's a whole other conversation. Jeez. But basically, Mall World... Of
course, you would know all about this.
But Mall World is allegedly a place where some people can go in their dreams, and it's what it sounds like. It's a world, but it's basically a mall. And the thing is that people go into this mall, but different people will go to the same places in the mall in their mind without ever actually knowing each other.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but it technically exists in, like, the astral plane, like a realm beyond our own. But the fact that only certain people can go, and these people who all go to Mall World, we're allegedly all part of the same, like, psychic program, but other people can't, is just another one of those things where there's, like, oh, there's definitely, like, more to this, or there's at least tiers or something, right?
Right.
But definitely
interesting. All right, well, I'll get right into our next story. They say, hi, Wheel of Crime ladies. So I met this guy on Hinge. This was, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, right before Valentine's Day, which honestly should have been my first red flag, but whatever.
Yep. Red flag, like red on Valentine's Day.
You would
timing.
Know. You would know, wouldn't you, Emily?
I would know. I've met a bad egg or two.
Yeah, I was not part of the online dating experience. Like, I met my partner right before all of that took off, really. So, but Emily knows.
I do.
She's been through
the trenches. I have.
Yeah.
It is a journey. So, R.I.P. I am so sorry, fellow listener.
His profile was very curated in a subtle way. Not like influencer vibes, more like soft-spoken future husband vibes. Pictures volunteering at an animal shelter, one holding his niece at a birthday party, one artsy coffee shop photo where he's reading some classic novel. His prompts were all about being ready to settle down and just being tired of games and wanting something real. You know, the stuff that gets you.
A little too perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A little too polished.
We match in late January, and he messages first, not just hey, like an actual thoughtful message about something in my profile, which I've heard is rare.
It is rare. Most people, from mixture of my own experience and also friends of mine who are actively in the dating scene, it's usually pictures and then balls to the wall, basically.
Oh God. We start talking nonstop. Good morning texts, good night texts, random this made me think of you texts. He would send me voice notes sometimes, and his voice was calm and slow and kind of reassuring. I remember literally texting a few of my friends, I think this one might be normal. So, seems good so far.
The hope is what gets you through.
Oh God, that's so depressing. Our first date was at this small wine bar downtown. He shows up with a single rose, which sounds cringe, but somehow it wasn't. He said he likes being intentional and that romance is a lost art. I ate that up. Of course he did.
See, I feel like a lot of women love the romantics of like getting to know somebody, and this totally plays right into that.
Yeah. So she said, I ate that up. I really did. Second date, he plans a picnic in February. Like, who does that? He brought a blanket, little candles in jars, chocolate-covered strawberries, a portable speaker with a playlist he made. I thought it was intense, but sweet. We basically became official, like, 2 weeks later, which, yes, I know. He starts posting me a lot, long captions about timing and fate and how he waited his whole life for this kind of connection. We had known each other maybe 18 days, but when you're in it, it feels romantic, not alarming.
It does. That's true. The rose-colored glasses are on. Locked in.
I don't like where this is going. Then he tells me about his Valentine's Day tradition. Every year he disappears for a few hours to reflect alone. No phone, no contact, just him and his thoughts. He was weirdly firm about it, like non-negotiable. It seemed kind of sus for a dude who loved all things romance, but I figured maybe he had some tragic backstory, like maybe an ex passed away or something. I didn't push it. We date for about 4 months. Everything is very big and dramatic in a good way, but also kind of exhausting. He loves milestones, month anniversaries, surprise dinners. One time he literally booked a hotel room in our own city just to recreate our first date for, quote, the memories. It felt romantic, but also sort of rehearsed, like he had done it before. Which, that does give me the ick.
Well, it's also too, and I don't know if this is just because, I have heard this story from a few too many people. There's something specific about people who also are very active about things like week anniversaries and month anniversaries, like that fresh into the relationship. It's like if you're mature, like a teenager, whatever. As an adult, though,
it's gonna
that's
be
a little
for
bit
me.
different. Sorry, my cat's stuck in a toy.
We break up because I feel overwhelmed. He cries, like full crying, says everyone leaves him.
Yikes. Okay.
Oh, God. That's
big
so much.
Feelings.
He does have big feelings. Says, I am different, but also the same. Fast forward maybe 6 months. I get a DM from a girl asking if I dated him. Uh-oh.
That's not good.
That is no good. She found old photos of us tagged on his page. She tells me she met him on Bumble the exact same week I met him on Hinge. Same opening line, same wine bar, same single rose. She sends a screenshot and it is literally copy and paste paragraphs about destiny and timing, word for word. What a dick.
Douchebag. See,
Then
I was gonna say, let this be a lesson. If you're on dating sites and it looks overly polished, like a picture with a dog, usually, or a baby and something artsy or something that makes them look unique, that person is too self-aware. That is a problem.
Yeah. Then a third girl joins the chat.
No.
She met him on Tinder the year before us. Serious relationship. She says he also disappeared every Valentine's Day for his reflection time. And then she drops this. Her older cousin dated him years ago. They went on a... That's kind of weird.
That is weird. But also, I just want to... Okay, I have a theory. We'll see if I'm right. If you have a religious, I'm going to be gone for 4 hours every Valentine's Day, he has a wife somewhere or something. That is such a weirdly specific holiday and specific amount of time to be unavailable.
Yeah, especially for a guy who's like fucking love bombing the shit out of you.
Exactly. Too sus. Too sus.
Too sus. They went on a romantic weekend trip mid-February and he allegedly essayed her.
This guy's a douchebag. Get rid of him.
She reported him and he was questioned, but nothing stuck. At this point, I'm shaking. I start deep diving into his social media. Every January, there's a new girl, soft launch posts, romantic captions, big gestures. By March, they are gone, wiped from his feed like they never existed. I go back through our old messages and notice he used the same pet name for me that he used in his captions for at least 2 other girls. Valentine.
Oh my god, is this guy a psychopath? That is so weird. Every January, a new girl copy-paste your experience and then end it by March? That's fucking crazy.
That is, and disappears on Valentine's Day.
It's so weird. So weird.
I reported everything I had, screenshots, timelines, dates. Police thanked me but said without physical evidence, there's not much they can do. So more of the story is that this dude is absolute trash and I really need to stop online dating.
I mean, honestly, I will say, though, I have met some people who have met through online dating and have had great success. It happens, apparently. Not me, personally. I had to meet my partner through work, and I basically was like, we are dating now. And he just kind of went along for the ride, I guess. So, live and let live. But that, super suspicious. Here's an Emily lesson about polished profiles. So there's something called performative, what's it called? Not like being a performative male, that's like one thing. This is a very specific thing called it's a performative something. I don't know. I can't remember it right now. But it's basically having this persona, like outward facing persona that is catered specifically to the feminine gaze. And there is very specific types of profiles that'll check those boxes. So if you're ever on a dating app, and, like, there is something that's very much, like, keyed into a woman's romantic experience. Like I was saying, like, picture with a baby, picture with a cute animal. Usually there'll be one where it's like, oh, picture of a travel location or, like, of an expensive dinner. These are all things that somebody who is specifically looking to catch just a person would put in there. Because it's not keyed into, oh, this is what I'm interested in, this is my specific thing. This is, I know what women like. Yeah.
Ugh. I hate men. I'm so glad I never had to do online dating.
Yuck!
Praise
sorry about
the
that.
Lord.
Oh, I'm so sorry, listener. That sucks.
Ugh. I honestly do think your theory is interesting, though. I do wonder if he had a wife.
I do really wonder that because just the timing is very strange. And especially the time of year. To me, if somebody is that cyclical with their behaviors and it's the same pattern of behavior, usually what it is I have the January blues. A lot of men will distance themselves from women usually around that time because it's a mixture of, oh, Christmas is expensive and the holidays are exhausting. So then you have the January blues mixed into a month where a lot of people are starting to look for companionship because it's the start of a year, like, oh, like something new, like, oh, I'm going to do these different things. I'm going to try something different. So that's a very much human experience exploratory phase is between the month of like February, March, April, usually. So also that specifically and the fact that it concludes by March, I'm like, yeah, to me, this screams this is a way for this guy to let off steam. Potentially he's in a long-term relationship like married. And that's why Valentine's Day specifically for that time frame, he's like out of the picture because he has a social expectation to meet for that holiday.
Yeah, that would make total sense to me. Unfortunately.
I'm not a wizard, but I know a thing or two about human behavior.
But also he's fucking gross because...
Yeah, yuck. Everything about that. Ugh. So, let's move on to my story. Alright, you ready, Jen?
I'm ready.
My girlfriend listens to your podcast and told me to write in, so here it goes. Alright, so I'm 32, born and raised in Dover, Massachusetts. Hell yeah, American brother. I'm assuming, or American sister.
Hell yeah.
And yes, I grew up hearing about the Dover Demon. Hey, there we go. A little throwback. It's our local cryptid. Not as flashy as Bigfoot, and not as marketable as Mothman. I mean, I don't believe the Dover Demon has the same amount of cake that the Mothman has. That might be a part of the problem.
Yeah, just can't compare in that way.
Just doesn't compare. Just this weird little alien-looking thing that allegedly showed up in 1977 and then dipped. For anyone who doesn't know, the Dover Demon is supposed to be like 4 feet tall, big melon head, glowy eyes, skinny body, and kind of smooth looking. No fur, no clothes, just vibes. Bad vibes.
Would you say that's accurate?
It is 100% accurate, but I also almost want to steal this for like, I don't know, like a social media bio of some kind description of myself.
No fur, no clothes, just vibes, bad vibes.
No fur, no clothes, just vibes, bad vibes. I love it. That's so good.
It's pretty iconic.
Anyway, I always thought it'd be a fun small town legend parents would use to mess with their kids. I never took it seriously. I'm a contractor. I'm outside all the time. The woods don't scare me. You were so much stronger than us, dude.
Yeah. It couldn't be me.
Yeah. Until last fall, I was driving home from a buddy's place around midnight. Took Farm Street because it's faster and there's zero traffic. If you know Dover, you know it's just winding roads and woods forever. No streetlights, just headlights and trees. I'm maybe 5 minutes from my house and I see something on the right side of the road up ahead. At first, I think it's a deer standing weird. No. No. Hate that. But it's not moving. So I slowed it.
You just spooked Emily to her core.
Jen's watching me go through like all 10 stages of grief that I have.
Literally.
So I slow down, and I swear to God, this thing is perched up on this low stone wall, not standing, perched, like crouched but upright. Sorry. It was small. Maybe 4 feet tall max. Skinny as hell, arms long, head way too big for its body. Like disproportionate in a way that made my brain glitch. The skin looked pale, not glowing, just light. Almost grayish in my headlights. This man saw the fucking Dover Demon. Then it turned its head towards my truck. The eyes caught the light. Not reflective like a raccoon, not yellow like a deer, just bright, like wet and huge. See... Ew. Remember I shared on the podcast forever ago my story of the not deer? That's what got me, was the color of its eyes, because like deer eyes flash like, I think he said yellow. For me it was red. And I was like, that's not a deer. Anyways, so fucking spooky. And the face, I don't even know how to describe it without sounding insane. It wasn't animal and it wasn't human. It was just smooth. Minimal features, a little slit of a mouth. I fully locked up, like I forgot how to drive for a second. That's fair. I think you're allowed that.
Seems normal.
Yeah, that checks out. Then it did this thing that made my skin crawl even now. It tilted its head to the side. Slow, curious, like it was checking me out the same way I was checking it out. No fear, no panic, just interest. See, I'm just going to throw this out here. When you see things that are like scary and unreal, it's one thing for you to see it because then you can kind of like talk yourself out of it and be like, yeah, that was weird. I'm just hallucinating. If it sees you and does something because it sees you, that's a whole different experience.
You that's acknowledged each other and now you're toast.
This is a problem, actually. So, hang on. It tilted its head to the side, slow, curious, like it was checking me out the same way I was checking it out. No fear, no panic, just interest. I hit the gas. Not even dramatic, just instinct. Let's go, pedal to the metal! Now it was lower, almost spider-like on the wall. Hands flat on the stone. I drove home way too fast. Next day, I told my girlfriend. She laughed at me. She said I probably saw a sick deer or a big owl, which is fair. That sounds logical, but here's the thing. A week later, my neighbor mentioned seeing something weird in his driveway late at night. She said it looked like a kid at first, but moved wrong. He then joked about the Dover demon. I did not tell him what I saw. I kind of just nodded. Also...
You're keeping your neighbors safe.
For real, though, because if I was a neighbor and I was like, man, I thought I saw a child in my driveway, and then I was like, that's crazy. If my neighbor then was like, you know what, I actually saw something worse, I would never leave my house again. I'd be like, great, it lives in the bushes. It's great. It's gonna get my ass.
Perfect. I love that.
Other people have raccoons in the garage. I got the Dover demon.
Beat that.
Beat that. Also, this is the part that messes with me. The spot where I saw it, that's within like a mile of where the original 1977 sightings happened. I looked it up afterwards because I couldn't sleep. Same road system, same stone walls, same wooded hills. I don't know what I saw. I'm not saying aliens, and I'm not saying a demon. I'm just saying it was not a deer, it was not a dude in a hoodie, and whatever it was not scared of me at all. If anything, it looked curious, which is honestly feels worse. Because that is worse. That would be why it feels worse.
Objectively.
That is, objectively, significantly worse. Oh my god. See, again, when something sees you, and, like, if you see it, whatever, if it sees you, that's big bad vibes. Also, that's doubly crazy to me, because let's say for a minute that there is some logic behind this, where it's like a diseased deer or another animal of some kind. Mm-hmm. There is no way that it either has lived this long from 1977 up until around the year 2026 or had babies without populating a bunch of them. So that's also crazy.
It's definitely weird and suspicious. I don't like it either.
Yeah. No, thank you. I don't want the day you're having, my fellow, my dear listener.
Actually, I'm gonna stage my microphone after this because I don't want to bring that energy home.
No, we're good. No, it's good. The room I'm filming in has a cat, which they do things, I guess, and a cross. So I'm safe. I don't know about you, though. I came in prepared.
Oh, Lord. All right. I'm gonna move on. Hi, Em and Jen. I have submitted this story to your forum a few times, but I'm hoping this is my moment. And it is. You're welcome.
Yay! Congrats!
I swear it's a juicy story.
Hey, we're in. Valentine's Day is the time for juicy stories.
It's true. When I was 10, I had my very first boyfriend, and I use that term very loosely because we were in 5th grade and our entire relationship consisted of sitting next to each other at lunch and passing notes that said stuff like, do you like me, yes or no? Relatable.
Oh, wait, that's cute.
That is cute. His name was Tyler. I hope Tyler's okay with us doxing him.
No, it's good. I feel like we've talked about Tylers a few times on the show. There's too many of them, I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of Tylers. It's fine.
There's a lot of them.
He had frosted... I don't feel bad anymore. He had frosted tips.
Jen's like, you know what? You're getting to Tyler. Capital T on Tyler today.
Tyler, we all know who you are. And that's... I've heard enough. Which should have been my first red flag even at that age. And I was absolutely convinced we were going to get married and have a house with a pool and probably a dog named Max or something equally basic.
Fair. Good dreams. Good dreams for a grade 5-er.
Grade 5-er, yep. Valentine's Day was coming up and I was spiraling because I did not have any money of my own except for like $3 crumpled in my dresser. Hello, American. Welcome to the show.
I was gonna say you're not a fellow Canadian, otherwise those would be some crisp loonies.
Exactly. And I wanted to get him something meaningful and romantic and mature, because obviously at 10 years old I was very mature. I think
Of
that's a
course.
universal experience.
Yes.
Because I too thought that at 10.
Yes.
And, I was 10.
Yeah.
My mom took me to the mall that weekend before Valentine's Day, and we went into Claire's, which at the time felt like the most sophisticated store in existence, because it was.
Yes.
And I saw this little chain wallet with flames on it, and I was positive Tyler would think it was cool as hell. Who wouldn't?
I mean, frosted tips. That's chain wallet territory.
It is. Like, you were on point. So, it was $12, which might as well have been $12,000 because my mom had already said she was not buying me anything extra that day. And I remember standing there holding it and thinking about how unfair life was and how true love was being tested by capitalism.
It always is,
sister.
It always is.
And this is where I made the worst, dumbest decision of my childhood. I slipped the wallet.
Huh? What'd she say?
She said I slipped the wallet.
Yes! I mean, no, that's bad. But I knew it.
Into my puffy, limited to jacket when my mom was looking at earrings, and my heart was beating so loud I was convinced the cashier could hear it from across the store. But somehow we walked out and no one stopped us, and I felt this insane rush of adrenaline like I had just pulled off an Ocean's 11 situation instead of stealing a $12 chain wallet.
Hey, listen, I think for a person in grade 5, that is basically Ocean's 11.
I agree. I hid it in my closet for 4 days because I felt guilty as shit and weirdly proud of myself.
Yeah.
Which is honestly disturbing behavior for a literal child.
Oh, 1,000%. But also super funny now.
Yes. On Valentine's Day, I brought it to school, wrapped it in pink tissue paper that I stole from my mom's gift stash because apparently...
Girl, you're on a roll with the theft here.
Yeah, she says because apparently I was just on a full crime spree at this point.
Yeah. Aww.
And I gave it to Tyler at recess while my friends watched from the swings like it was some kind of royal engagement. He opened it and just stared at it. And then he said, and I quote, "Why would I use this? I don't even have money." That's so mean.
Girl, you gotta beat him up. Also, if you have frosted tips, yeah, you're getting a chain wallet. What a chud.
Duh.
What is wrong with this person? Idiot.
He's so dumb. Which is fair because, again, we were 10. Then, and this is the part that still makes me want to crawl into traffic, he told me that his mom does not let him wear chains because she says they make him look like a delinquent, and then he handed it back to me in front of everyone. That's so sad.
Listen, this guy, he 100% was like, I didn't get her anything, and decided to make it into some weird shame experience.
Yeah, fuck Tyler.
Idiot. Fuck Tyler.
Literally fuck Tyler. I wanted to evaporate on the spot, so now I'm standing there holding the stolen wallet that I committed a whole ass crime for, and my friends are trying not to laugh, but they are absolutely failing, and I can feel myself sweating through my stupid butterfly shirt. Aww. Oh, this is like a traumatic moment. This is like a core memory for you, isn't it?
I feel like I really want this to turn to a heartwarming thing of, and then I never stole anything ever again.
It gets worse.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Later that week, my mom found the wallet in my backpack because I was too embarrassed to take it out, and she asked me where I got it. And I lied straight to her face and said Tyler gave it to me, which was such a dumb lie because she knew I did not have a boyfriend who was out here buying flame chain wallets. She marched me back to the mall that weekend and made me return it and apologize to the store manager, and I had to explain through actual tears I stole it because I loved a boy who did not even want it. The store manager was this bored 20-something guy who clearly did not care, but still had to do the whole speech about consequences, and I have never felt more humiliated in my entire life. Tyler and I broke up 2 weeks later because he passed me a note that said he liked Madison now.
Also, fuck Madison. Actually, she's
Tyler
just an
and
innocent
Madison.
bystander in this, but definitely fuck Tyler.
Yeah, fuck Tyler.
And honestly, so we're being like, why is somebody cursing my name? I've done nothing.
Fuck every Tyler. And honestly, that was my villain origin story. So yeah, my first crime was shoplifting a $12 chain wallet for a boy with frosted tips who did not even appreciate the gesture. And if that's not character building, I don't know what is.
I would argue your first crime was liking a boy named Tyler, but
with frosted tips.
With frosted tips. But I'll accept that as well.
You know,
I would also say that I think anybody who's still in elementary school is a criminal. I don't care if they've done crimes or not. I think they are.
That's fair. That's fair.
You're like, that feels right, actually.
I agree.
No, but level. I feel like there's also like a 99% chance, by the way, that man knew that you had the wallet and they just saw it in the security footage and went, eh.
Well, literally, like, I feel like most children are not actually sneaky. So, like, 90% of the time when they do something, they're going to get caught.
Or conscientious of their own actions is the other thing. Like, I feel like if I was working a mall job at my big old age now and saw that, I'd be like, their mom's going to beat them up anyways. What does it matter?
They'll bring it back.
It'll figure itself out.
We have to let nature run its course, okay?
Exactly. I'd be like, I have a feeling things will be all right.
And this is why I don't work in retail.
No, me either. Oh my god. All right. Hi guys, I've been listening forever and I finally remembered a story that I thought would be interesting to tell. All right, let's go.
Nice.
So when I was 19, I dated this guy for about 4 months. We met at a friend's birthday party and he latched onto me immediately. And at first it felt flattering. He was always texting, wanting to know where I was. I told myself it was just real love, which I know is something only a stupid 19-year-old can rationalize, lol. I will argue in your favor. I think if you don't have a lot of relationship experience by the time you reach 19, this is like romance novel, like, oh my god, we're so in love. Like, this makes sense to me.
I think your young age equates a lot of times to lack of experience, and I think it's easier for people to take advantage when you don't know.
100%. I just told myself it was real love, blah, 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 blah. For our 1 month anniversary, he gave me this heart-shaped jewelry box. Bright red, super cliche. Inside was a silver necklace and a handwritten note that said, so you never forget who you belong to.
Ew.
See, this is kind of like...
immediate ick.
I see, well, super immediate ick. But this is also like a weird thing where like I seen specifically this line of like belonging to somebody where it comes up and people are like, in fiction... super hot. In real life? Hell no. Disgusting. Yikes. At the time, I laughed it off, and I even posted it on Instagram because I thought it was dramatic, but also kind of romantic. Yeah, I mean, dramatic and romantic do kind of rhyme for a reason, I guess. Honestly, so many people reached out asking if I was okay. Oh my god.
As a person in my almost 30s, I would be concerned if I saw that. I'd be like... well,
I also will say, like, around the age of 19, I feel like that's kind of, like, almost in a gray area. Closer to our age, which is almost in our 30s, if somebody posted on Instagram, like, you belong to me, I'd be like...
no, you don't belong.
What's happening here? Yeah, I'd be like, ooh,
they're being a little bit of a freak right now.
Girly pops. We've got different things to unpack.
We need to have a chat, girl.
Yeah. But I thought they were overreacting. Looking back, that line makes my skin crawl. Yup. Yeah. As the relationship went on, he got more possessive. Yup. If I did not answer within 10 minutes, he would send 3 more texts. If I went out with friends, he would show up randomly at the same bar. He always had some excuse. He just happened to be in the area and he wanted to surprise me. And then I finally broke up with him a few months later because it was all too much. So this is a continuing sentence, but I'm just going to add in here, if any of our listeners are with somebody who's like that, just because I was chatting with some folks actually IRL in my outside of podcast life. And they were talking about being on the dating scene and these different things on like, oh, like what kind of constitutes like a red flag or not. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like if you are living your own life and doing your own thing and somebody's demanding your attention enough where you can't even like say go to the bar with your friends for the night without them either messaging you a ton or like if they know you're going to be out late messaging you at like some ridiculous hour like 5 or 6 in the morning, nah, that's worrisome. That's veering into very controlling behavior.
Cause for concern, cause for taking a pause and evaluating.
Yes, cause for taking a pause and being like, this is a little problematic, me feels.
Yeah, maybe we need some boundaries here, guy.
Yes. So then, just to continue, I finally broke up with him a few months later because it was too much, and if I'm being real, I started having a thing with my coworker. That's hilarious. Very like 19. Moved on. Very 19. We have a new life now, actually. So then he did not yell and he did not beg. He just stared at me in this really calm way and said, "You'll regret that." That's spooky. That is spooky as hell. I do not like that. I'd be going through everything I know and being like, okay, changing my house key, getting a new like, that is crazy.
It is.
After the breakup, things got weird fast. He would drive past my house, not every day, just enough that I would notice. I would see his car creeping down my street at night.
Ew.
Sometimes he would park across from my place with the lights off, and when I confronted him, he swore it was a coincidence. Yeah, whatever, dude. Said his friend lived nearby, and I started to get the feeling like I was being watched. Not in a dramatic way, but just in small things. My porch light that I always left on would be turned off when I got home. No. Before I continue, if you're noticing small things change that are obviously things happening within your own home and you're not there, girlfriend.
That's like the biggest alarm blaring flag.
Hello, 911. But like, actually, yes.
There's a killer in my house.
Yeah, or at least somebody with definitely ill intent. Like, that is so scary. My porch light, which we just said, my bedroom window would be unlocked even though I was positive I locked it. Girl. And then one night I heard scratching inside my closet. Fuck off. Like slow dragging sounds. I convinced myself it was a mouse, but I barely slept. And the next morning, the heart-shaped jewelry box was open on the floor of my closet. I had left it on my dresser.
Girl, why didn't you
get rid of it? Is this man the devil? What is happening here? He's just like apparating inside of your home and being like, I'm gonna do crazy shit in your closet while you sleep. What the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
Inside, oh, great. I left it on my dresser, and inside was not the necklace. That was gone. Instead, there was a photo of me sleeping in my bed, taken from the doorway of my room. What? Go, move away. Get out of here.
Move to another country at this point.
Actually, though, taken from the doorway of my room, and you can see my face clearly. You can also see the closet door slightly open in the background. What? This man is insane. Like, fully insane.
Yeah. Like, full stalker mode has activated.
Like, full stop. Not so crazy bananas. Like, I can't even rationalize in my mind the mindset of being like, I have nothing better to do. I'm gonna live in my car in the street until one day I'm just gonna be in your closet.
I'm moving in.
I'm just gonna be here now. And you know, be extra freaky. Guess what? I can take pictures of you whenever I want. Like, that is so. Yeah, like it. Like, what do you think? Is that a power thing? Because I can't even in my brain begin to feel like, how do you get to that point? Like, is it just you're so desperate for attention at that point? That's like the way that you've decided you're gonna get it.
I feel like it must be like a power thing of like, oh, I'm in control of this situation and like, you can't get rid of me type of thing.
Yeah, like you can say whatever you want, but I'm in control. Totally. Absolutely. You can see my closet door slightly open in the background and I felt sick, like actually dizzy. And then I called the police. They took it seriously, thankfully. Thank God. I feel like we always hear these stories, and then it's always like, and the police said, check for carbon monoxide instead of like checking for a break-in. Have you taken any new medication recently? Thank God they showed up. So then they took it seriously, thankfully. When they searched his apartment, they found multiple photos of me. Not just that one, pictures of me leaving work, getting gas, sitting in my car. He had a whole folder on his laptop labeled with my name. He admitted to breaking into my apartment just to talk. No, he did not. To talk? Guess what, buddy? There's a lot of ways you can do that without breaking into somebody else's apartment.
And taking pictures of them while they sleep.
Yeah, something, I don't know what it is. I think when you take pictures of somebody, that's not a conversation. Like, I might be new to living, but somehow I feel like that isn't a thing. Yeah, he admitted to breaking into my apartment just to talk. He swore he never meant to hurt me and said he just needed to feel close to me again. Something about that just gave me chills. That man was going to do very bad things.
Yeah.
The necklace was in his pocket when they arrested him. He got charged with stalking and unlawful entry. I moved out of that apartment as soon as my lease ended, and I still cannot look at anything heart-shaped without thinking about that stupid red box and the note that said I belonged to him. Whoa, yikes. I hate that for you.
At least they caught him before things escalated.
Oh, 100%. But also, too, like, this is also such a good, like, we had a couple stories today that are such good warnings for people who are, say, single or navigating relationships with other people. That's kind of how red flags build up, right? It's like increasingly questionable behavior. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're getting to know somebody and they ever make you feel uncomfortable, uneasy, something just doesn't feel right, usually those types of gut intuition, assuming you don't have some sort of like previous trauma that you know might impact your ability to trust people, usually those things are your subconscious being like, yeah, this situation is not totally safe for you. And I feel like it's within your right to kind of cut things off at that point. You do not need to give people multiple chances just for the sake of hearing things out if it's not sitting well with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and fuck that guy. I don't know his name, but I don't like him.
I bet his name is Tyler, and fuck him.
I almost said that, and then I was like, maybe there's some nice Tylers out there. I don't know.
Hard to say.
It's hard to say.
All right. Hi, ladies. Long-time listener here. I've been here since the OG Leprechauns episode.
Not the Leprechauns. That's a hot take. That's literally, what, 2019, I think? 2018, yeah. 2019? That's a hot minute.
2020, maybe. No, 2019. It was
2019. Earlier than that. It was pre-pandemic.
That's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But also, I can't believe you stuck around this long. Hello, listener.
Yeah, holy shit. I have been loving these listener episodes. Well, here you are.
Us too.
On one.
Yeah.
Us too.
You made it. It's the big leagues.
You're in the big leagues. You were the star of the show now.
You made it.
Congratulations. They say, my story is kind of short, but I hope you like it anyways. My aunt dated this guy for about a year. He seemed fine, quiet, polite, and he worked nights. I mean, that's about as much as I know about my aunt's partners as well.
Yeah, that feels right.
Oh no. When she broke up with him, he did not take it well. He started leaving roses on her porch every Valentine's Day. No note, just roses. She moved and the roses showed up at the new place. She changed jobs and he sent flowers to her work. She went to the police, but they said since he was not threatening her, there was not much they could do. Then one year, the roses showed up dead, like completely black and shriveled. That same week, someone tried to break into her house. They caught him in her backyard. In his car, they found a box full of old Valentine's cards she had thrown away while they were dating. He had taken them out of the trash. He's in prison now for attempted kidnapping. We still do not know how he kept finding her.
That is so freaky. Ew. Oh my god. Especially first of all, a single rose, so ominous. That is so ominous.
It is ominous.
But yeah, also the tracking, like, especially between workplaces, at that point, I'd be like, he's got to have been more
He's
eyes
like,
on the scene. He's more eyes on the scene than probably what people are realizing, would be my guess. Like, if that's the
yeah,
case, I don't think that's a simple, like, goog to figure that out. That's a little more hands-on, which
yeah.
gives me eerie vibes.
Some weird full-on stalkers this episode. That's the
Yeah, we've turned
theme.
to Valentine's Day stalkers, which truthfully does feel very on brand for Valentine's Day.
You know what it
It's
does?
like it's like love gone wrong. Love turned into obsession. We laugh because otherwise we'd cry.
Yes.
All right, I got another one here. Okay, so this shit happened when I was 8, and I swear I'm not making this up or whatever. I love that. I love that hot intro. It's very no nonsense.
It's to the point. No,
Okay,
hey ladies,
so whatever.
what's up?
Here I am. Let's go.
We're cooking with gas.
This reminds me of how my youngest sister talks, actually. That's fun. So, like, I had this friend, Lila, and I swear she was not imaginary. I just knew she lived near the trees behind our house, which is funny because my parents thought I was just being weird and lonely. I feel like parents, when it comes to, like, weird friends that they don't know anything about, that's the direction it goes. They're like, oh, a girl that you see all the time that we've never met. Yes,
Must be fake.
very, very convincing. I like to think
Sure,
also
sweetie.
I like to think it's also parents just being like, you have friends? I know that's probably not the case, but it is kind of funny.
You're like, oh my god, someone likes you? Weird.
That's so weird. I hope nobody's parents are like that. But anyways, so, which is funny because my parents thought I was being weird and lonely, which, yeah, fine, maybe I was. But she was like, you were 8. Hey, let's cut us some slack here.
Yeah. Give a girl a break.
Yeah. But she was real to me at the time, and I used to go out there for hours just sitting in the trees and talking to her like she was a normal kid. And honestly, I probably creeped out the neighbors a little. Maybe. That's their own business.
Yeah, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, so she looked normal, but also kind of off. Like long dark hair and this white dress that was dirty at the bottom, like she'd been walking around the woods for forever. And I didn't even care about that. I just cared about talking to her, and sometimes she would tell me shit I didn't even know. Like one time she was there, one time she was like, there used to be a house here before the woods, and her dad was always so mad. And I just remember being like, huh, okay, whatever. And then later at dinner, I told my dad, and he just like froze, and I was like, oh shit. And apparently there actually was a house there, and it had burned down in the 70s. So what the actual fuck, right? Yeah, what the actual fuck is right. I feel like now, because I have the perspective of like an adult human being, if I met an 8-year-old and they were like, there was a house here and it burnt down, and there actually was, I'd be like,
how do you know that?
that's none of your business. What? How do you know that?
You're not allowed to know spooky things, okay? Shut up.
Girl, can you even read yet? Where would you have gotten that from? You're like 2.
Stop talking right now.
Yeah. Anyways, I stopped talking to her, and then when I was 9, I kind of just stopped going out there, not because I didn't want to see her, but just because of life, I guess. But then my mom told me years later when I was in high school that one afternoon when I was 8, she looked out the window to check on me, and she saw me standing at the edge of the trees, but she said I was clearly facing somebody, and she couldn't see anybody else there, but I was nodding and holding my hand out like I was holding someone else's hand. And she called my name, and I turned around fast like I'd been caught doing something. And when she looked back, the bottom of a white dress had disappeared behind a tree. And she said it creeped her out so bad, I don't even remember that part, but I do remember feeling super sad when Lila left, like I'd lost an actual friend. And that's fucking weird, because we moved when I was 12 and I never saw her again. But a few years ago, I got curious and looked up old records for the old property, and apparently a family lived in that farmhouse before it had burned down, and they did have a daughter, and her name was Lila. That is straight up childhood heebie-jeebies. It's like, this is relevant in just the sense of sometimes you don't totally understand something until you're older. Jen and I, we grew up in the same neighborhood, like literally 2 houses away from each other, or a house away from each other. Each of us had super fucking weird, creepy experiences in both of our basements, and then found out years later that's because they literally mowed down a cemetery in order to build our neighborhood. And I was like, you know what? I feel like we kind of knew that.
Yeah. It
Something
does
tells
check out.
me, yeah, that we kind of knew that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know it sounds insane and I probably sound like a total weirdo, but fuck man, that shit still creeps me out every time I think about it. And I still think like sometimes and I still like sometimes feel her around the trees when I drive past that area. I don't know if it's my brain or what, but I swear, dude, it's real. I'm gonna like put a little fun fact in here about like people's ideas about like spirits interacting with our world and stuff like that. They do
Okay.
say that children, because they don't hold any preconceptions about like what's real and what's not, are usually more susceptible to seeing and having interactions with the spirit world in this way. Not saying that is the case or not, but that is a little interesting parallel to draw because that does come up a lot in my stories.
I mean, I feel like every horror movie, it's always the kid that
Yep.
starts talking to the fucking ghost.
Mama, who's that lady with the broken neck? And you're like, who?
I don't know. I don't want to meet her.
I don't know her. Do you know her?
Tell me you don't know her.
Yeah, tell me you don't know her. If you do know her, tell her to leave.
Yeah, tell her to go to her own house.
Is she paying rent? I don't think so.
All right. Let's get into the next story. And they say, hey, ladies, I debate sending this in because it involves an open case. But here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
You're spoiling us. 2026, baby.
We love a crime. Not really, but like.
Not really. It is super relevant for our show though, so we can at least give its dues to that.
Exactly. So recently, my boyfriend of 2 years proposed to me. Congrats.
Congratulations. I just took a toast for you guys.
Aw. He set up a candlelight dinner on the rooftop of our building. It was the sweetest thing ever. Oh, that sounds nice.
That sounds really cute. Very romantic.
Yes. The ring was vintage and belonged to a relative, and that's a huge but. Oh no. A month
Vintage?
later.
I got very excited. Now I'm less excited.
Yeah, now I'm a little afraid.
The energy is shifted. I
don't think I like that. A month later, I'm scrolling on Facebook and see a missing persons post shared in my local group. The woman, I don't like this. The woman had been missing for about 2 years. In the photo, she is wearing my ring. It had the same tiny chip in the sapphire and the same crooked prong on the left side. I asked him about it and he went pale and he said lots of rings look alike and started getting defensive, then angry, then weirdly calm. Something in my gut just seemed really off. I'm so scared.
Girlfriend, that is not the reaction you want. What you want is, oh, that's so weird. I hope it's not the same ring because obviously, like that would be a normal reaction. Being like, oh, well, what? And getting defensive. You and I need to have a talk, sir.
Red flag.
Yeah, that's a neon sign, actually, I think. Instead of just a flag, we got...
We've got alarm bells going off. Something in my gut just seemed really off. Same.
Me too.
I talked to my sister about it, and while he was gone on a month-long work trip, we ended up taking the ring into the police and showing them the Facebook post. Turns out they think it did belong to her. I don't know... I didn't know this when we started dating, but she was actually his ex-fiance and she disappeared after a weekend camping trip together only a few months before we started dating.
No.
I don't know if he did it, but it's not looking good. I'm so freaked out and honestly don't know how I can trust this guy, let alone marry him. Please tell me if I'm acting crazy.
Girl! Here's my thing. Since there is no concrete answers, I do like to give the benefit of the doubt to people. It is possible that this is simply he has more knowledge about the situation than he's willing to share. That could be it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, his reaction is at the very least alarming. As far as, like, how you navigate this, entirely up to you. But I do think it at least warrants the conversation of, hey, I think how you responded to my initial question was kind of odd. I think that if we're going to be getting married, we need to at least, have be able to have open conversation about things, even if they make us uncomfortable. Is this something that just came into your possession because it was a gift? Is there, because you don't need to say, I think XYZ and start getting accusatory with people. But I think at the very least, they should be, like I said, if you're marrying somebody, they should at least feel comfortable enough to have an open conversation with you, even if it's a hard one.
Yeah. And also just stay safe,
Yes, that would be a big one. Be mindful of where you're having these conversations. I would do so maybe in a public place would be my 2 cents in here. Yes. Or at the very least with some family members who are close by.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sticky situation because you don't want to accuse someone of murder out of nowhere, but also it's weird.
Yes. And I would say, too, just going back to what I was saying earlier, gut feelings usually mean something. It doesn't necessarily mean whatever your mind creates is the worst case scenario. But at the very least, if you get the sense of, oh, he's being defensive and not... I mean, clearly this is not something he wants to talk about, but it's also concerning somebody who's missing. I think at the very least, a conversation should be had where it's like, hey... I understand that this is the situation and it kind of looks bad. I want to come at this with an open mind and I want you to do the same. And I think we just need to have a conversation about what exactly is happening here. Like, was there an accident? Do you know something more? Like I would even just start there and be like, hey, like, why are you being defensive? Why does this make you uncomfortable? Like, what is it specifically about the situation that is causing you to want to be defensive, especially when I'm supposed to be the person who's supposed to be your life partner.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think also, like, logically, he could be because if they were engaged and she went missing, that's probably traumatic for him.
Totally, yeah.
If he had nothing to do with it. But also, I think... yeah, I think you just
it's tough. It's tough to make the right call, especially from us, because we obviously do not know you or do not know your situation well enough or intimately enough to be able to make a judgment call. But I do think you've asked enough questions that, especially if you're talking to us, to at least know enough that there needs to be more questions and there needs to be a conversation. And I think if you're feeling the way that you are, it's better to have that conversation and at least know versus live with the not knowing and what feelings might come from that. Because you might not necessarily know how you feel about this right now, but if somebody's being defensive about a topic that is a pretty serious topic and it's not addressed, that does build resentment in a relationship. And if this is somebody that you truly do trust and you truly do want to marry, you at the very least need to talk to them as though you're on the same team.
Yeah. I would also be curious to know if you knew that he was engaged before and if he had ever mentioned this person to you before.
That's also true. Like, how coveted is this information that he used to be engaged to this person, and has it ever come up in conversation before past relationships that he's just had with people in general? Maybe not this person. He could be a private person. That's the other thing too, is unless you know more about like a person's personality, you can't really say what is strange or what is not strange. But I will say, if you know him well enough to be engaged to him, you probably have a good sense of his character at this point.
For sure.
So if something's striking you as odd, it's worth having a conversation about. But safely. You do not want to put yourself in a situation where you are isolated, alone, do not have a point of contact, or in the middle of the night. You pick times like daylight because nothing bad happens in the daytime. Right?
Wow.
Daytime, public place. But these are things, right? Like, people are more active at that time. It's less likely for there to be an escalation, these types of things. So
also, I think it's important for people in your life to know what's going on. Like, maybe not everyone, but like a safe person like your sister to know that you're having these conversations and know what's going on. Just so somebody's aware and watching out for you.
Yeah, or even just make a plan and be like, hey, I'm going to have this conversation with him. If it goes nowhere, I'll be done within an hour. We can meet up after that. Just something in place. Like, you have to come in with a structured plan. If you leave it too open-ended, that's where people get caught up in other stuff.
Yeah. All right, but do you want to take it away with your last story, Em?
My last one already, but we're having so much fun.
I know.
Oh, well. All right. So me and my friends always joke that this is our Lover's Lane horror movie origin story. I don't love that. It's cute, kind of. But I am actually dead serious about what we saw. There's this trail outside my town that everybody calls the Lover's Loop. This has got to be America somewhere. I can feel it.
It sounds American.
It does. Very Jack and Diane, Tom Cougar, Mellencamp, Grease Lightning type vibes happening here already.
This is somewhere in the South.
Oh, for sure. I can feel it in my bones.
A Southern Belle was there.
She was, and still probably is.
Yes.
It's not the real name, but that's what people call it because couples go there to walk around, make out in their cars, and take cute fall pics, whatever. And bone! She didn't say that, I did.
Yeah. So we know what's happening.
Yeah. She or he. We do not discriminate. Or they. We don't know.
We don't know.
It's a mystery. Whatever. Especially around Valentine's Day. It's like a thing. 2 years ago, my girlfriend and I went there on February 13th because we both had work the next day. It was late afternoon, almost sunset. Cold, but not snowing. The woods were pretty empty. When we got out of the car, we noticed another couple ahead on the trail, already on the trail ahead of us. Probably 30 or 40 yards in front, holding hands. The girl had on this white dress, which I remember thinking was a weird choice for February. It is. The guy had a bright red jacket on, like red, easy to see through the trees. We started walking at a normal pace, just talking and laughing. And I started realizing that something feels off because no matter how long we walk, there's still the exact same distance ahead of us. Not getting closer, not getting farther. At one point, my girlfriend even goes, "Are we walking in place or something?" And we kind of speed up a little bit to test it. Still the same distance. And I mean, we walked like for a good 5 minutes. Then the couple slowly turns off the trail to the right, just into the woods. There's no path there, no clearing, just thick trees and brush. We both stopped walking because it was so unnatural. They didn't even step over any branches or push anything aside. They just sort of moved between the trees. We stood there waiting to hear leaves crunching or something, and there was nothing. Just complete quiet. Like, seriously, no footsteps, no talking, no branches snapping. My girlfriend got this weird look and said, "Do you smell that?" And there was this faint smell, like damp earth, almost metallic. I know this sounds dramatic, but that's what it was like. We decided to keep walking, but didn't go off the trail. Or we didn't go off trail. We stayed on the main path. Both of us kind of quiet now. When we looped back towards the trailhead, there were 2 police SUVs parked there. Lights on, but not flashing, just idling. We figured maybe somebody had twisted an ankle or something. And then later that night, I saw a post that someone had found partial human remains deeper in the woods off Lover's Loop earlier that week. And they were investigating it as a possible cold case. A few days later, the news shared an old missing persons photo. A couple who had disappeared in 1998 after going for a Valentine's Day hike on that exact trail. You already know where this is going. It was them. The red jacket, the white dress, even the way that they were standing in the photo, holding hands. I showed my girlfriend and she just stared at me and said, "That's them." We haven't been back since, and every Valentine's Day I think about how they turned off the trail just like they've walked it 1,000 times before.
I want to look this case up. That sounds very interesting.
Doesn't it? And it just brings up, I guess, another thing related to like ghostly and paranormal experiences, which is people talk a lot about thin places, like in time, where, especially around holidays, which are like emotionally charged times of the year, sometimes people will be like, yeah, there's ghosts that appear at like this time of year on this day, and we don't really know why. But it's a very consistent thing. So I'd be really curious about like what that is, because for you guys not to know that case at all and then to have seen those exact same people, that is so eerie.
It is fucking a really weird coincidence, if nothing else.
If nothing else. I know, as there's like a cute couple who's trying to take photos and they're like, "Oh my god, we look like the missing couple. That's so crazy." I hope not. I hope not.
I hope not too.
So freaky.
Very freaky. All right, I'm going to go on to my final story of this listener episode.
No.
Yes, it's time for the final tale.
Boo.
Hello, Wheel of Crime people. I'm writing in for the first time with admittedly a really dumb story. Also, I go by they, them for reference. I appreciate you letting us know.
Good to know. We always just take a stab in the dark. I try to just make everybody they, because I really don't know.
I mean, we can't know unless you tell us, and you told us, so now we know.
Yes, there we go.
So in middle school, my friend group had this thing where we all brought lunch and sometimes swapped snacks, which was fun, right? Until someone started stealing my cheese strings, which I loved, and I know that is a crime.
Put them in jail. Not the cheese strings.
Yeah. That is a crime of the highest nature. Death penalty is called for.
Yeah.
I know I'm against the death penalty, but in this case, I'll let it slide.
I'll let it slide. Listen, guys, this is the once a year special death sentence slide.
Exactly. And it wasn't just I'll try one. It was always like all of them gone by the end of the day. And I know it wasn't me because I'm allergic to half the shit in the cafeteria. And I know it wasn't my best friend because they would literally roll their eyes every time it happened, and I swear they didn't take them. And it wasn't anyone else I could figure out because I'm not a detective, but I paid attention like a fucking hawk.
Jen and I, exactly the same. If somebody was nabbing our cheese strings, we would be on it.
I know. I'd be like, okay, I am now Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I am the police now, actually.
Who's going down for this crime?
Yeah, give me the footage. Let's get this ball rolling.
Exactly. Anyway, every day I would watch the lunchroom and take mental notes. Like, I'm serious. I was plotting out the angles and people sitting near me who just got up and left, and somehow the cheese strings just disappeared. And the weirdest part is I just started to enjoy it. Like, the mystery became its own thing, and like I was in a goddamn spy movie every single lunch, and people started noticing I was quiet and staring at them weirdly, and no one could figure out why. And I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want them thinking I was crazy, which, okay, I might have been. Fast forward.
You know what? Us too, actually. So we all have
We're
that
on
in
the
common.
Same path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is lined in cheese, yes.
Exactly, yes. Fast forward 20 years, and I still think about it. Like, it's a part of me. It's haunting you.
I love this is like a core memory. You're like, I identify as the cheese detective, and nobody will take that from me.
Oh, Lord. And no one has ever claimed responsibility. No one has ever confessed. And my friends from that time all deny it. And honestly, it's haunting because I never solved it. Like, the cheese string thief is still out there in my brain. Some kind of unsolved middle school mystery that owns a piece of my soul. And I still eat cheese strings now. And I pause and look around and whisper, "Fuck you," under my breath. Like, I know whoever it was probably laughing somewhere. And I will never know. And honestly, maybe that's better. Maybe the unknown part of the thrill. But goddamn if it isn't driving me a little insane every single time.
That's so funny. You know what? It would be hilarious if the reason you weren't catching this person is because it was a teacher or something.
I feel like it was your best friend, you know? The person who you're least suspicious of is who I'd be.
You're like, you know that person that you really trust to not do it? Maybe take a second look.
It was them.
How much do they like cheese? Just a hypothetical question.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, that's really fun though. Not like fun as in, yay, let's steal cheese, but like...
But a good way to cap off this episode, I think.
I just love that it just took so much of like your brain power to be like, no, I will watch for the cheese thief every day to the point where I am haunted for life.
I will go back to that middle school and I will look again.
Check the footage. Let's get it rolling, guys.
Pull the tapes.
It's from 20 years ago. I know you have that footage.
You know what? I hope one day you figure it out. I hope someone fesses up one day.
I hope so too.
One of your reunions, you can go and question everyone.
Yeah, with a t-shirt that says, "Are you the cheese thief?"
That would be pretty iconic. I'm not.
It would be. It'd be super iconic. But I was just thinking back, I think I just processed this from the story that I read out to you. Remember when they were saying that they saw the couple walk off into the woods and then the air smelled metallic?
Mm-hmm.
Blood smells metallic.
Oh, yeah.
That's a weird thing.
But they also said, hold on. I want to go back. But they disappeared in 1998. So, like, yeah. I don't know when these people went on this walk. I don't know how many years in between those things, but probably a few. If it's an old cold case.
Right? Well, I was thinking, though, it kind of reminds me of, like, when people are telling ghost stories when they're, like, in mansions or whatever, and they're like, and you smell gasoline, and then the ghost mechanic shows up. You know, like, stuff like that. And it's just kind of like, huh. I wonder if smells are, like, a big ghostly thing. Maybe that'll have to be something I cover at some point, is, like, ghost smells.
Yeah. See if this person is taking us for a ride or not.
Yeah, Jen's like, yeah, the most criminal thing of all, the smell of cigarettes.
I can go back to my age-old question. What's the crime, Emily? What's the crime?
What's the crime? There's always a crime. You just got to give me a minute.
You gotta be a little creative.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that takes us to the end of today's episode. If you liked this listener episode, make sure to rate the show and write a review. That way we can kind of, feel out what it is that you guys want to hear from us. And besides that, we have our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com. If you want to check us out on there, I have an accent now. My nose is plugged. Everything's fine. We also have our email, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. We have our Patreon, which is Wheel of Crime on Patreon. We have our social media, which is on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Wheel of Crime. And lastly, we do keep this form up throughout the year now just because we do cover a variety of topics, and we hear all the time about how people are like, oh my gosh, I heard this episode and made me think of this. So if you listen to any of our episodes and it has inspired you to write in a story, please do so. We are trying to do listener stories throughout the year, so the form is up 24/7 now throughout the year. So write in if you listen to today's episode and you're like, God damn, I know that Dover demon too. Write in, tell us about it, and get your feature.
You were that guy's neighbor?
Yeah, if you're the neighbor, tell us about it. And then you could get your feature on our next listener episode, potentially.
Yes, and that's it. That's all. We'll see you next week for another new episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.